Okay, everybody, thank you. Welcome for coming. We had a program with Henry a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, and he mentioned Evernote, and so many people were interested that we asked him to come and just talk about Evernote for a little bit. So he is here. He's going to tell you all about Evernote. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and I will relay them to Henry, and I will let him take it away. Thanks so much, Henry.
Well, thank you very much. And Elizabeth, just shout out the questions when, as they come in. So
I will.
If it's something that I'm going to cover in a couple of minutes, I'll just say that, hold on, we're going to talk about it. But other than that,
Okay.
Just, fire away. Not a problem.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, good morning to everyone. Thanks for coming. So we're talking about Evernote. I don't know if anyone's using Evernote but certainly you're interested in learning more about it. So let me just kind of set the stage. My business, Visionary, we've been around for 28 years. I actually just discovered on LinkedIn last month that it was our 25th anniversary. I was getting all these congratulatory messages in LinkedIn about, hey, congratulations in 28 years. And I'm like, I've been married for 35 years. I'm like, oh, I realized it was my business anniversary. So we've been around for a while, and back in the day, before you had all this cloud-based storage capability, we did things the old-fashioned way. Every time we had a job or a project or anything that came in, is we created we pulled out a manila folder, we made a folder, and we would stuff it to the max with papers, faxes, quotes, proposals, sign-offs, everything you can imagine that had to go with a project. And doing that for, over 20 years, you really start to accumulate some serious piles of paper. And we were in Patchogue for 22, 23 years. And we were trying to figure out what we're going to do. We had so much space, and we figured out that the bulk of our space is being taken up by paper. That it wasn't like office space and workers and things like that. It was filing cabinets. We had filing cabinets filled with paper. Like we had 14 filing cabinets, and we had all these job projects, and each project we would assign a job number. And then when a year or two later, a client would come back, we'd have to go find that folder, see if the information's in there from the project. Or sometimes back in the day, we used to put 35 millimeter slides, photos for our clients when we did graphic design work. So those folders were stuffed to the gill, and many times we would try to go back and find a file, and we couldn't find it. It was missing. Like, you go through the numbers, and you were looking for job number 8, and you had 7 and you had 9, but 8 was missing, and that happened all the time. So it's been over 10 years ago, we were looking for a solution to kind of go paperless and try to get rid of this clutter, and also address the changing workplace climate. I mean, even back then, 10 years ago, we were working a little bit remotely. So we were looking for a solution where we could kind of put this stuff up in the cloud and have access to it. So, we did some research, and there weren't many options back then. So my biggest concern was I don't want to start using something, and then a year or two later, we found out it went out of business because they didn't get their second round of venture capital or something, So, we were really concerned about what we were going to use to store all our paperwork and our documents. So we stumbled across Evernote, and we started looking into it and said, okay, this will do it for us. So what we're able to do is anything electronic files that we had that maybe came in through an email or anything like that, we could just shoot right up into Evernote. And then any hard copies of anything we had, we would scan in. So, and we'd try to get everything up in the cloud. It was kind of funny, back in the day, you used to use fax machines, and fax machines are really very inefficient when you think about it. You take a piece of paper, an actual physical piece of paper, and you put it through a machine, and it converts it into bits of information, electronic. Then you send it over to your client, they receive an electronic version of it, and then they print out a hard copy of it. So it's, very inefficient. So we would be scanning in faxes, and getting them up into Evernote. But now I think faxes are pretty much, a thing of the past, I think, for the most part. So we just started using Evernote to make virtual job tickets, basically, is what we do. Is any project that comes in, we immediately go into Evernote, we set up a project in Evernote, and then the whole team has access to that project. And they'll put anything that has to do with that project in that, into Evernote, and we'll tag it with a project number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you a little brief overview of Evernote. I have a PowerPoint just to kind of go through the key points. I figured it'd be easier if we kind of went through the key points. What does it do? How do you use it? And then when I'm done with that, I'll actually jump on to Evernote and show you live features. So everything's good. So far, so good, Elizabeth? We're good?
Yes, we are good.
Okay. I was going to take that as
I had
a
to unmute
yes.
myself.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen now. So we're going to go into Evernote.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. You like my little elephant there, Evernote elephant?
Yeah. Yes. And somebody did mention in the chat that municipalities still use faxes.
Yes. Yes, they do. And I think some people still use carbon paper and carbonless forms too, it's still there. But look, they absolutely still do use faxes. Actually, doctors' offices and lawyers, I think, use faxes a lot too. But the bottom line is this, is that's not going to increase over time. The need for faxes and things like that. As a matter of fact, I was just telling a story. I worked for a newspaper back in 1985. And we were debating whether or not to get a fax machine. Would we use a fax machine? And we were in an office with about 50 people in our office, and we were debating whether or not to get a fax machine. And it's like, are we going to use it? Is it worth it? To invest all that money in a fax machine? And then what they did is they put the fax machine in my office, and then they realized, wow, we can fax ad proofs over to the client. So I would always have a line of people out my door, waiting to fax things. And then I would get faxes coming in, and I'd have to spend my time putting it on people's desks. And, faxes replaced, going out there in person and maybe delivering a hard copy proof or mailing something. So look, we evolve, things evolve. We all need to look at things that will make us more productive. I think Evernote becomes even more important now with what we're all going through with the pandemic. Evernote basically allows me to have all my documents relating to clients, anything, all in one place, and I can access it through my computer, through my phone. I'm not tethered to an office if I need to get any information. So that's a huge thing. I know faxes will still be around a little while longer, but eventually they will go away. So, but having all this information in the cloud and having like redundant backups and encrypted security and things like that are important. I'm kind of old school. I didn't really like the idea of putting my social security number like in my bank thing or doing online banking. I was very skeptical of it at first, and now I've kind of gotten on board with it and are using it. So we all kind of have our comfort levels, and we adapt as we feel more comfortable doing it. So what is Evernote? Well, Evernote is basically software, a cloud-based software that's really designed for note-taking and archiving documents. That's really what it is. Think of it as one big filing cabinet. So we put all our stuff up in Evernote, anything that has to do with anything with the business. So, why did we decide ultimately to use Evernote? Well, it has over 225 million users, and over 20,000 businesses are using Evernote. And there's over 8 billion notes and 5 billion attachments in Evernote. So we felt comfortable going with with Evernote. We felt that they were a large company, kind of mainstream, and we didn't feel that after a couple of years we'd have to go and find another provider. That's not to say there aren't other things out there. I think, what is it, OneNote or something, Microsoft Team, they have their products. There are other solutions out there, Google Drive you could use for things like that. But what we really like about Evernote is its ability to tag content, tag files, and then easily retrieve them and archive them. So Evernote can actually be installed on your computer. You can access it, through a website or even an app. So I predominantly use an app, even on my desktop, and then I have a mobile app. So you can access it right through their website as well. You can also install a notebook right on your hard drive, but that would not be able to be shared with anyone else. So we tend to work within the app, using the app, whether it's on a phone or on a desktop, we use it. So we use Evernote to store all sorts of things. You can store images, expense reports, receipts. You can do screen captures, PDFs, Word file, Excel files, PowerPoint. You can drag and drop those documents right into Evernote, and and store that information up there. And then you can view it up there, or if you want to download it at a later time. So the goal would be to kind of clean out your email box. Instead of keeping attachments and keeping everything in your email, you can shoot it up into Evernote, tag it, and then get rid of that email. So now it's up there for everyone to see. You can put contacts in there. You can encrypt your content. They don't really recommend storing passwords up there. I'm going to be honest with you. We've done that. We've put some passwords up there. They recommend using something like LastPass or something like that to really protect all your passwords. But we've been using it well over 10 years right now. We've never had a security issue or any sort of crashing or loss of data or anything like that. So we use it every day. We're in it all the time. And so far, it's been working for us. So one of the other great, yes.
We do have a question, and I think I know the answer to this, and I think you're going to get to this, but Patricia's asking, how does Evernote differ from Dropbox?
Okay, that's a good question. So Dropbox is basically a document repository, right? You can put photos, videos, Word documents, and it basically operates as an extension of your own computer hard drive. Is that how you feel? What do you think, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I don't see Dropbox as like a share of as much of, like, Evernote lets you tag things, more of an organizational tool, whereas
Right.
Dropbox is, I'm just sharing this file with you and you're going to take it and put it someplace else, or something like that. It's almost like a conduit to taking it and putting it someplace else. I don't really use Dropbox for long term.
Right. So that's exactly it. So think of it, like I said, Dropbox is really an extension of your hard drive where you can share files, with other people. What really sets Evernote apart is, while you can certainly do that, it's the indexing of that content so that it's all searchable. So right now we have, 10, 12,000 files in our Evernote, and it's all searchable, So Evernote can even, in addition to using tags, which I'll go over to help categorize your documents, Evernote can also read and index the text of those notes, even a handwritten note, so that it's all at your fingertips very easily. So for me, I think of Dropbox as a way for me to share a file or a couple of files with, whether it's a client or someone like that. Evernote is we use it primarily for an internal filing system for all our documents, anything related to the business. It's all our notes, like everything that goes in there, project notes, everything that goes in there. Whereas Dropbox, they're really treated as a file, like it's a file. And then you can share that file and do things. But with Evernote, it's having all your notes, all your documents, everything up there that you can easily find very quickly using a search. Hopefully that answered that question. So you can also add voice recordings, voice notes into Evernote. there's a little feature which I'll show you. You can just press the button. So let's say you're having a meeting right now with a client. Let's say we're having a meeting. I could just hit the record button. It's going to record the meeting. I put it up in Evernote. I tag it with my client's tag, and meeting minutes. I use a tag called like meeting notes or meeting minutes, and then boom, the whole conversation's up there. So you can use it. We don't really use that too much. It's really the documents, the notes and things like that. So there are basically two types of notebooks in Evernote. You have what's called a local notebook, which can really reside on your desktop. So if it's just you and you want to put all your documents in it, you can do that. However, it's not shared across the cloud. Okay, so it's just on your desktop. Or you can have what's called a synchronized notebook. And a synchronized notebook is the notebook that you share, and you're sharing it over the cloud. You can share the whole notebook with your team, or you could share individual notes with individual people through maybe an email, a link, and things like that. So we primarily use, we just use the synchronized notebook. That's what we use. Everything goes up in there. So if my office manager right now, she's working from home and she just got the estimate for the print project we're working on for XYZ client, boom, she puts it up into Evernote. She'll tag it, and now I'm here in the office. I can see it. It's right in there, and I can refer to it. I can even refer to it while I'm, walking on the beach, and I need to look at it. I can access it with my smartphone. So the synchronized notebooks are really where the value is, because you can share it across the cloud. So with Evernote, you can have up to 250 notebooks. I could never imagine having that many. We primarily focus for our business. We have one notebook. I have some other ones I use for other things, whether it's personal or other things that I do. But it's really our one synchronized notebook that we put everything in. The great thing about Evernote is you set up a default notebook, and you have an email address, and anything that comes in for your email, boom, you just forward it right through your email, right into Evernote. This way you can get it out of your email box. So email comes in, here's the proposal, great, forward it to Evernote, and then I can get rid of the email. And then of course, you can also back up or export your Evernote to your desktop. So if you feel comfortable, if you want to have comfortable, make sure you got a backup, a local backup of it, you can do that. So that's an important feature.
I have a couple of questions.
Go.
Deborah is asking if she should be concerned about backup.
Okay, so like I said, you can do a local backup if that makes you feel better. The servers over there at Evernote are, they're kind of redundant. They have backup. I've never lost any data because it's served in I guess they call it like a server farm, where this information is saved, on multiple servers, across the country, or, so I've never had like a catastrophic loss of data. I've never even lost one note. But if it makes you feel better, you might want to do a local backup so that you can keep it on there.
Great.
Yeah.
And
so,
Michelle is asking if Evernote is an alternative to other list programs such as Todoist.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll show you that. Evernote has templates, okay? And you can create a to-do list template, a little checkbox thing. And the good thing about that is that checklist you could share with multiple users. So if your team is working on a bunch of things and they're attacking a project, and you got like your punch list, you can create a checklist in Evernote, and then everyone has access to that checklist, and they could check it off when they have it done. So they have a bunch of templates now. That's a relatively new feature of Evernote, or the templates they have. So yes, you could do a checklist.
Okay, those are all the questions we have right now. Thank you.
Okay. So the great thing, like I said, about Evernote is it syncs across all the devices. So like I said, if I'm working on a note on my smartphone, before I head into the office, I set up a note and I started putting something in there. Then I stop, leave, come to my office. I can just go log in right on my desktop and access that note and finish it, and and make any revisions I need to do to it. So that's a great feature. We have access to those notes at any time, at any place. So, what kind of notes can you put in there? Well, you can actually type a note right in Evernote. You can put a format, and it has a formatting text where you can make things bold and add hyperlinks, kind of like a Word menu. So you can actually type in information or copy and paste information right into a note. You can drag and drop a PDF or a Word file or a Microsoft spreadsheet, Excel file. You can even link things up to your Google Drive and access information off your Google Drive and link a note up. One of my favorite features that I'm going to show you is a web page. They have what's called a web clipper. So that if you're on the internet and you're looking at a page and you say, wow, this is useful information, I can clip it and upload it right to Evernote and tag it. So I do that a lot when I'm trying to learn about something. I'm reading on something like latest trends in search engine marketing or something. If I come across an article, boom, I can clip it in Evernote. It puts it up there in a simple article format. It kind of strips all that web nonsense out of the page. And now I have it up there, and I create these tags. Like we have a tag called how to. So if we have to figure out how to do something. And this way we don't have to remember it every time we have to go back and do it for another client. We have a whole how-to knowledge base. You can actually use Evernote as a knowledge base that if you want to put in directions on how to do something, you put them up there. So if you ever have to refer back to it, it's a really useful tool. You can also put in voice memos, which I talked about, photographs, and also handwritten notes. You could scan a handwritten note, put it up there, and as long as your handwriting is fairly legible, Evernote should be able to index that copy. So if you're searching for something, they should be able to find it. So those are different kinds of notes you can do up there. And once again, they have templates that you can use to start with a blank note and just put a template in to get a head start. So, notes can have attachments. You can attach files. You can put things up there. You can create folders if you want to create folders in Evernote. We really don't create that many folders. Like we just put everything in Evernote and we tag the heck out of it. We just think of it as one big filing cabinet. And if we're looking for something, we just type in the tag and anything related to that tag shows up. So we don't make folders because everything is tagged. And it's annotate. You can also annotate notes as well. So to us, the real magic with Evernote is in the tagging, is tagging documents. So when we upload, everyone in the office here is uploading stuff every day. My office manager, Terry, goes in there and makes sure that everything is tagged, everything that was uploaded. We might put a couple tags in there, but she goes in and tags the heck out of it so that we have tags. But even if you don't put a tag, if you search for a keyword, it will bring up that note. So you can do a keyword search. So that's a great feature. So notes can be, you can make comments and give comments on a note. Obviously, notes can be searched. That's the big thing. You can share a note with someone. You can export a note. For example, let's say you upload a Word document and it's up there, and then now you put it there. You don't have it on your local drive on your desktop. You can go and bring it down, export it out of Evernote, and bring it in. And of course, you can edit notes. And another great feature is you can merge notes. You can take multiple notes and merge them into one note, or you can create almost like a document with a table of contents with a bunch of notes. I don't really use that because, once again, it's the tagging. We tag everything, so I don't really see why I would need to merge the notes, because if I'm looking for a proposal for XYZ company, if I type in my proposal tag and I type in the name of my company, everything will come up for that, that's tagged with those tags. So it's really this being able to search using tags. So we talked about this, create a text note, paste a PDF into a note, add a screenshot, multimedia, you can put multimedia up in there, clipping the web content, merging the notes, and create a note from email. So we use the tags to sort our notes. We can sort by text, and there are advanced search options you can use in Evernote as well for finding your stuff. So when you're tagging something, really the rules to tagging a piece of content, whether it's a note or a proposal or something, is, what's the subject? What is that note? In our case, it might be a proposal. It might be a media kit. It might be, an expense, reimbursable expense, what's the source? Where did the note come from? Well, it came from Amazon, so we might have a tag for Amazon. Is it for a specific project? We create a tag for every project. So when a new project comes in, we create a tag, and we have a number and the name of it. So when we're working on a project, it has its own tag. Anything we do, whether we buy a plugin for WordPress or we buy, buy some out-of-pocket expense, we have a subscription, we have a proposal, anything to do with that project, it goes up in an Evernote and we tag it. And you can also create tags for people and places and things like that as well. So Evernote has 3 plans. This is a common question people ask, like how much does Evernote cost? You can start with the free plan, basic plan, and it's only good for like 60 megabytes per month. So it's not a huge amount of storage, and you can only access it with 2 devices. And then, you can only access it offline on your desktop. You do have that ability to access these Evernote things offline if you want. Then you also have what's called the premium plan, which is 10 gigabytes a month. So every month you can upload 10 gigabytes. That's a lot of stuff. We do not use Evernote to upload like our project files, like photos and videos and assets that we use to create a job. So we're a marketing company. So if we're creating a brochure or we're creating a video commercial or something, I don't put them in Evernote. I certainly could. We could put them up there, but because they're large files and they're really more production related to actually producing work for our client, we use ShareFile, which is kind of like Dropbox. Like we use ShareFile, which is a cloud-based thing, and we just put our project assets in there. So if we're backing up a website, we have an auto backup. It goes into a folder in our ShareFile. I don't keep it in there, although we certainly could use Evernote for that. I just wanted to use Evernote for like project notes and documents and things like that. So, the $7.99 a month, 10 gigabytes is tremendous. So, you'll never fill that up. We never, ever exceeded or even came close to exceeding our monthly quota when we're uploading things in there, primarily because we're putting up text documents, PDFs, and things like that, or even typing a note. I'm not putting large JPEGs or QuickTime movies or anything like that up there. That's just a choice we made. You could certainly do that, but we wanted to keep it clean and just really, really focus on documents that pertain to a project. And then they have the business plan, which is, we use the business plan. It's 20 gigabytes per month. You have that collaboration with your team, unlimited devices, and you have offline access on both desktop and mobile. So I've never really used the offline access, so I really can't really speak to that too much. But we use the business plan, and for $14.99 a month, or the price of a Starbucks coffee, you're getting a great deal. Think about all the information that's stored up there. It's well worth it. So once again, you can bring up handwritten notes. Okay, you could take a photo of a whiteboard. So let's say you're in on a meeting. I do this a lot. Like if I'm in a meeting and someone's using a whiteboard, I'll just take a photo of it with my phone, and then I can upload it to Evernote. Okay, and if it's written clearly, that's the key word, is clearly, then it should be able to find it. So in this case, a search was done for the word projects, and this note came up, and you can see it actually found that handwritten word product. You can see it's found product there. So it does have that great feature where it can almost like OCR, recognize handwriting as long as it's fairly neat. So okay, so the premium and the business plans will let you search for text in PDFs and Office documents and images. So you need the premium or the business plan to be able to search for text within a PDF or within an image like a handwritten document or something like that. The free version will not allow you to do that. So that's a key distinction there. So I'm just going to touch on quick a couple of little add-on products that support, that work with Evernote, that you can use. You can actually download an app, or a desktop version. And this one's called Sketch. It allows you to basically annotate notes. You can draw on the note. If you're doing it on a tablet, you can even write little handwritten things on a tablet. You can put shapes and different things. Write feedback and put feedbacks. Kind of an annotating kind of feature that you can use with Evernote. This is the one I love, Web Clipper. Web Clipper, you should be able to get an extension on your browser. So if you're using Chrome, Chrome will make an extension for Evernote. So you can go and search their extensions, install that extension, and then when you're on a web page, boom, you can just go in and clip it. I use this one all the time. It's my favorite. Then they also
Henry,
make this. Yes?
I have a couple of questions for you, and I think this might be a good time.
Good.
Michelle had a question about earlier when you talked about saving articles.
Yes.
Does it save the article itself, or is it just saving a hyperlink that then you have to?
Good question.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer that question in 2 minutes, and I'm going to show you what it does.
Okay, so we'll get to that.
Yep.
And then Rini wants to know, and I don't think this is a dumb question, Rini. She said that. I don't think it is. She said, is there a way to send her contact list from her phone to Evernote without having to retype everything in?
Her list of contacts, I would probably think you'd have to export your contacts on your phone into some sort of exportable file, and then upload the export. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I don't, I think you'd have to export those contacts and then bring them in.
But not if it's a flipped phone, Rini.
Oh, Rini. Rini. Yes. But maybe Rini, you could fax them. Okay. Do you have any other questions before this is the last slide, then I'm going to go.
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay. All right. So this other app or add-on is called Penultimate. This is the digital handwriting app, so that you can actually write on your iPad. So you can open up Penultimate, and then you could scribble with your finger or a stylus and scribble a note, and then boom, you can upload it right into your Evernote. So nice little feature. I see people use this one quite a bit, where they're just handwriting some notes while they're sitting in a meeting. It's a lot easier than typing, or even just sketching something out. That's one thing we do a lot, is we might sketch something out, like a workflow or something, or a layout. So we might just sketch it out. You can sketch it out with your finger on an iPad, and then boom, you can upload it to Evernote. So that's a really cool feature. So now I'm going to leave Evernote, the PowerPoint version, okay? And then I'm going to go into Evernote. So you all can see this, I hope. Elizabeth you will yell if she cannot. But this is the Evernote app, okay? This is as opposed to the website. I'm using the Evernote app. So what you see here is, when you come in, is the first thing you have is, this is my account, right? I have my account here. And it has all my account information. Then there's a button here. You can add a new note. There's some shortcut things here. These are recent notes and different things. Like the shortcut is, if I know we're working on something, a recent note, then boom, I can just go in here and use these shortcuts. Then I have all my notes, okay, which are almost 10,000, right? There's all the notes, and that's kind of what's showing up right along this left sidebar here, are all my notes for this notebook. Okay, this is our notebook that we use, okay? So you can see I have other notebooks. I do have other notebooks, but this is the one I use. So you can also see your notebooks here, okay? These are different notebooks I have, okay? I'm not really sharing anyone's notebooks, other notebooks or anything at this point. And then here's the magic right here. These are the tags. So when I open this up, you're going to see, a boatload of stuff here. So we do organize our tags by year. So you could see, like 1999, we were actually using this for some tags and things. Now, I have a feeling we weren't actually using Evernote at that point. I have a feeling what we probably did is we went back in and added notes after we started using it. I think we really started using it around 2008, 2009. So if I were to open these up, you know, you would see all these tags. Like here we are in 2020, okay? These are my current tags. So you can see, like, these are my projects. Like, we assign them a number. So being that the year is 2020, here are all my projects as we're working on them. So every project gets a tag. Everything we're working on gets a unique project tag. And we also have other types of tags. We have tags like proposal, estimate, how-to, media kits. So for example, if I wanted to go in and find media kits, I can just do a search, and any note that is tagged with a media kit will show up in this window. So here's a media kit for a company I'm maybe going to use for my client. We place advertising and different things for our clients. So media kits are an important thing for us to keep. And instead of having them in a folder, you know, that someone mailed to us, and then we have like a stack of media kits on our desk, they're all here electronically, so that if I need to find something, if one of my members of our team needs to find something, they can go in and find these media kits. So we have all sorts of things. So for example, this one is a PowerPoint I uploaded. So I uploaded their PowerPoint that they presented to me. I just went right in, and basically all I did was I just drag and dropped it. So I can download it here and download it, or I can share it. But here's the magic. These are the tags. So for example, my office manager set up a tag for 2020, meaning that this was for this year. I think that's a little overkill. I don't really think you need to do that, but that's okay. And then she's got a tag for accounting, because this does have rates and information. This is the vendor, right? This is the vendor. This is their media kit. We have a job number just for them. And then this is the type of document it is, or a type of note. It's a media kit. So by using that tag, you can see, look at all these media kits we have in here. These are all media kits for different, whether it's different clients or different things like that. They're media kits that we use. So like, here's a media kit for AM New York. And guess what this is? I just scanned this in. They handed me a piece of paper. They gave me the rates, the information, and look what it did. So even though this is a scan, because I'm searching for the word media, you can see it identified the word media. It used that optical character recognition, and it was able to find that for me. So this is just a scan of their media kit, okay? And you can see there's even, you know, there's handwritten notes and things on here, but this is really important. So if I have to go back and reference any of this information, I have it here. So that's really, really, really important. So I can search for it by that. I could maybe even search for it by the type of the name of the company. I might be able to do that. Like if I do Newsday, here, Newsday. So once again, they're a media company that we use. So anything that's tagged Newsday. So here is a thing, like I found an article that would be of interest for one of my clients. Okay, so I took a picture with my phone, I stuck it up in Evernote, and I tagged it. I tagged it with my client's tag. So now I have it up there. So I found this useful information about something that had to do with my client's business. I just shot it with my phone, put it up there, and tagged it. Actually, this one I probably emailed. I probably emailed it right up, because you can see it's got my email signature. Yeah, and there's also, you also have apps that you can scan. You can, yeah, Evernote, if you actually use their mobile app, okay, with the phone, you open up Evernote, you can actually scan it right out of Evernote. There's a button, a plus button, you just hit it, you hold it, it will scan it right into Evernote for you. So you can actually use your phone as a scanner with the version of Evernote. So, so these are just like the power of tagging, how you can tag things. So like if you had like proposals, you know, you just wanted to find proposals, boom, here's proposals. So if I want to look at the proposal I did for one of my clients, you know, I have it right in here. This is actually, there's a Word document in here. There's all sorts of different things in here. So this tagging thing is very useful. But you may start out by adding a new note. So when you hit the plus sign over here, that creates a new note. Right now it's blank. So you can just go in and name your note, right? Then what I can do is I can add a tag. So let's say this is going to be for one of my clients. I can go in and find my client. There's his tag. And I can also put, well, what kind of note is this? This is a how-to note. And then I can go in and I can start typing my note, right? I can go in here and actually start typing. And of course, I can go up here and format it, okay? I can format the note and do whatever I need to do here. But it also allows you, when you start out with a note, is to add the template. So remember we talked about the checklists and different things? So through here, you can pick a template to kind of get a jump start. So these are all the different templates that they offer. So if we scroll down here, maybe they have, let's see, there's marketing, there's sales, project management. So let's go to project management. They have different things here. This is a project overview. I don't really see a checklist here. Let's see if they have checklists. Meetings, project management. I thought they might have something for a checklist. Let's go to all templates again and see if they have checklist. There it is. Thank you. They're calling it a party planning checklist or a dorm checklist, but here it is. I selected the checklist, and now it populated my note, right? So now I can go in and edit that. So obviously, I'm not going to create a holiday party, so I'll change that. I'll call it something else, right? And I can change this up here. I can edit the whole thing. So I can delete it if I don't need all these categories, but here it is. So that's a beautiful thing. So boom, I just put in a checklist. Now I can customize it. And then if I want to share it, I can share that up here, and I can enter an email for someone, and I can give them permission to just view it or edit it. A lot of times what I'll do is a shareable link that I can give a link to someone. So it creates this link, and boom, I can share that link. I use this a lot for my own things. Like I use Trello to track my projects, like notes with interactions, like a project management tool. And a lot of times I'll copy this link to like an Evernote document and put it in Trello to use it. So there's different ways to share your note. And there's also, like I said, you do have the options to add more tags, do whatever you need to do here. So if you want to delete the note, you can move it to the trash. If we wanted to combine notes, like if you select multiple notes, you hit your shift key. See, I'm selecting multiple notes. It will give you the option. So you can combine these notes into one note, which will create like a table of contents. I don't really use this. I find the power of Evernote is to use individual tags and and just use tags to find them. So let's go back here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag my email over. So here's my email. So you can see I have this wonderful email about today's class. So I'm going to take that and forward it. So what I can do is I can forward that to Evernote. So I have an email set up within my Evernote account. There it is. I don't really need all this nonsense here, my footer stuff. So I can just take that and email it to Evernote. Okay. So hopefully that will come in. We can refresh our screen here, and guess what? There it is. So you can see now I just forwarded this email right out of Evernote, right out of my email into Evernote. I'm sorry. So very, very useful way to now I can get rid of that email, delete it, get it out of there. It's in here. I can go in, tag it, do different things with that as well. So there's a bunch of things we can do with that. You can also access notes. You can go in and do notes. Up here, you can do your voice note. So here's a little microphone. You click here, and now it starts recording your note. So it's actually recording right now. You can save the note in here. So then when you're done, you hit stop. There's your note.
And now it starts recording your note. So it's actually recording right now. You can save the note in here. And then when you're done, you hit.
Don't you hate your own voice when you hear it? It's like, ugh, oh my God. So there you got that note. You can also go in and link up to your Google Drive. So you can attach a file from your Google Drive. So
Henry,
I'm going in, yes?
Somebody's requesting that you redo the email forwarding.
Sure, I will do that. Okay, so let me just show you here where you can access your Google Drive. So these are documents within my Google Drive. So I can go in and find a document, do different things, and now I can take that and now create a note. So now I pulled something out of Google Drive. Here it is. It's in there. So I've just created a note. So, okay, so I'm going to go back in now. So the thing you need to understand with what you do is when you have your Evernote account, it's going to provide you with an email address. Okay. So that email address is what's going to upload it to Evernote. So here I am, I'm in my email account, and I want to forward this email into this. So we can go and take this now. I selected it. I'm just going over here, right? I'm hitting forward. This is Mac Mail, so it might be a little bit different than Outlook or anything else like this. So now, probably where it was confusing is it auto-populates. So when I start typing Evernote, you can see it comes up, right? So you see that address, this address right here, this Vision 27, that's my notebook, right? At m.evernote.com. So this is an email address that Evernote gave to me, provided to me with the account, and we can use this now to upload that. Now, sometimes it gets a little finicky. Sometimes you can actually go in and put a tag in your subject line. Sometimes this doesn't work, sometimes it does. So we have our preset email address that Evernote gives us. I merely selected an email, and now I'm just going to forward it. So here it is. I hit that, get rid of that. We come back to Evernote. We'll hit refresh. Not seeing it yet. Sometimes it might take a minute or two to come in. So we'll give it a second here. All right. It's going to come in. Sometimes it just takes a couple minutes for it to come in. So I want to show you now the web clipper, okay? Because this is one of my favorite things. So when you're on the internet, okay? So here I am. I have an article on the internet, and I'm using Safari, but they also make this add-on for, or an extension for Chrome and Firefox and all these other ones. But I have this little extension right here. It's that little Evernote elephant right there. So that when I'm on a web page, and you can see this web page has a lot of nonsense on here. It's got an ad. It's got an ad here. You know, it's got, you know, all sorts of different crap going on, pardon my French, but, you know, a lot of different stuff I don't want to read. So it's like, this is a useful article, okay? I want to keep this article so I can refer back to it. So I can go up here, click my little Evernote elephant, and what it does is now it has created what I call a simplified article. That's the option I gave it. Like, you can just clip the whole page with all the web nonsense, the banner ads and crap like that. No, I want the simplified article, okay? So here it is. Here's just the article, very clean, very simple, okay? So I can clip that. You can also do a bookmark, which would be like a link, right? So you could just save a link to your Evernote. I don't want to do that. I want the article, right? I want the I do the simplified article. I love it. You can see here, this is my notebook. Like, because I'm logged into Evernote, I have the Evernote extension. I can go in, and now it's in there. If I want to add a tag, if the tag is already in my system, it will come up. If it's not, I'll just, for example, this could be a how-to. So I can probably find how-to in here. It will come up. How-to. So there's one of my tags. And I also want to put something in there. This is reputation management. So I'm actually creating a new tag right now. So I did create a couple tags, okay? And now what I do is I clip it. And now it's saving it and syncing it into Evernote. Now I could view it right here, it says view it in Evernote. If I do it here, it's going to bring me to Evernote, the website. Okay. So it's bringing me there. I've been using the app. So I'm going to show you on the app. So we go back here. Here's my Evernote. And you can see the first note. The first note came in, right? That note I did, the forwarding it from the email. And you see, because I put a hashtag and the thing, it automatically tagged right out of the email. So right in the subject line of the email, I knew I had a tag for modern yachts. So I did, hashtag modern yachts, and it automatically put the tag in there for me. Okay. So there's that second email I forwarded it, but here's the clipped article, right? So now I clipped it off the website. Here it is. I have it all right in here. If there's anything I want to do with it, I can read it here. I could share it, whatever I want to do. I have the ability to do it. So that's a big plus. I use that a lot. So if I'm like surfing the internet, I'm clipping things all the time. Even if like I said, it's something for a client. I go, wow, this is a useful thing for a client, or I'm thinking about how I'm going to approach a project, and I find an article about it. I'm like, oh, let me just clip this and hold on to it for later. I may need this later. So that's very, very important. So that's the basic overview of Evernote. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I have a few questions for you.
Go.
Okay, I'm going to go back. I have 3 questions. Deborah asks, is there a capacity to capture data that calculates your mileage, spending habits, and other info that you may use towards your income taxes?
Well, it's not going to create a document that you can tabulate stuff right in Evernote per se. I mean, you probably could put a columns thing and put things in there. They might have an expense report in, let's go to the templates. So you might be able to track something there. If we do, one of these templates might be able to do it. I've never used it that way. I'm not seeing anything for expense reports. Let's see. Let's try life. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So I'm not, you might be able to put it in here, but I don't know if it's going to tabulate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's probably not the resource to use.
Yeah, what I would do is this is what I would do. If I'm using something that's going to tabulate or something like that, I would probably use Google Sheets, and then you could just link it up into here. Okay.
Okay.
But like here, you can put in your information, and put things on, but it's not really a substitute for like a spreadsheet. Okay, so thank you to Steve, who was sitting here in my office. He said they make an app. It's called Expensify.
Oh, yes, we've heard of Expensify.
I don't know if I'm spelling it right or not, but Expensify. Yep, receipt management. So they probably integrate with Evernote, and you can set it up right through there. So hopefully that answered that question. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Next question is from Patricia. Is the Evernote email provided in all price plans, including free?
I think it is. I
Okay.
think even in the free plan, it will give you the email. It's probably going to be like in your account info. Like if you go to account info, I think that's where it would generate like the email. Like I'm just trying to figure out where it would be. More account settings. It might be. It's going to be in here. So it's like manage your subscription. Here it is, right? Email notes too, right? So it set this up, and it says, it's not saying it's any limited, but that's the email address. This was a default thing that they set up, okay? So, you should be able to do it in the free version.
Okay, and then our last question is from Melanie. She's asking about Trello boards. And she says, so they work together and they do not replace one another.
Okay. All right. So quick thing, if you want, we got a second here. I'm going to show you how I use Trello. And this was probably part of the that other workshop I did where we actually did Trello and Evernote. Okay, so Trello does integrate with Evernote, and let me just show you how I use it. So like, here's my Trello boards. Okay, so I set up a couple of boards. I have boards for inactive projects, things I'm working on, bids and proposals, and then I have active projects. So what I can do is, these are all my projects arranged in here. So what I can do is, if I did a proposal, I'm just looking to see if I did any of the, what I do is I add a note like here. So in this note here, I took meeting notes, okay? Those meeting notes are up in Evernote. So what I did is, I actually went in and here it is. So I linked my meeting notes in Evernote to that Trello thing. So I kind of use Trello almost like a CRM, right? These are my conversations with the client. Tuesday I did this. I set up that. It's just kind of like my audit trail. I sent the proposal. You know, here are the meeting notes. You know, I quoted them this much money. You know, I use it as a like a CRM, and then through Evernote, I'm able to like add a link. Like that's where I talked about going into the app in Evernote, and just give me 1 second here, where I can go in and share this. I can create a URL, right, that anyone can view. So I copy that URL, right, and then I can go into Trello, and then I can go in under Trello. You know, I can add a right here. Like here's my most recent thing. I can go in here and add a link. So I paste my link there. I name it Evernote. Let's just call it Evernote. And now I've just put a hyperlink in there to my Evernote note. So that's how I kind of use it there. Evernote integrates with a lot of things. So, you know, that's why that's why we chose it in the first place, because it's, you know, it does integrate with a lot of other things like Expensify.
Okay, awesome. I want to be conscious of your time. Just one last question from somebody. They just want to know what CRM means.
CRM, customer relationship management. So
Awesome.
yeah, like Salesforce, you know, it's just my way of keeping track of interactions with customers, you know, and also I can share that as well. So if I need to go back and say, oh, I had this conversation with you, you know, you promised to pay me last week and you didn't. I have a note about it. So I just kind of use it. This, you know, the Trello is that's my organization, my visual organization. So I can look at everything at a glance and say, okay, you know, we got these different projects and different things going on and bids and proposals and different things. So I know these are the proposals I have to do. You know, these are proposals I sent, and I can just drag these from one board to another, change the priority, and just manage my, you know, manage my projects visually using Trello. And then, like I said, I'll put hyperlinks in to, you know, to Evernote where needed.
Okay. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you so much, Henry. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I want to be conscious of everybody's time. And we appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
All right. Be well.